I said, oh, it's a tarot. It's it. It's it. Tarot. I said, oh, I said to myself, oh, this is what Trump did. It's
Good morning, everyone. Ohayo gozaimasu. Thank you for coming today's March 29 Sunday service. So let's begin with this 1-minute silent meditation. Please put your hand together in Gassho. Thank you. So now we have chanting Shoshinge on page 20 on your red service book. So before we start chanting Shoshinge, please put your hand together in Gassho.
五行四類四小十、十世要所本実法、無法無量無変更、無限無体公園の少女願義知恵を、不乱なし無償法、超日学校小人生、一切分量無交渉、本願病後症状後、死心信教願義、浄土学書大下案、必死念の感情中、如来勝利公出世、唯正義な音楽会、傍辱悪事群上内、ご信用内容日本、同法一年喜愛心、不断本の特命案、文章逆防災へ入、領収信入開一、摂取信仰上昇後、医の水波無料案、本来心臓死有無、上部信じ信じて、医の日光不運無、運無資源用無難、脈心謙虚大教義、卒業調整合拍手、一切全幕本部に、門心如来偶然が、運言広大小下者、全人形運大家、リーダー部本願念部、邪言教満白修上、神領十字人に南中市南昔、インド祭典シロンゲ、中華人地域史構想、現代小構成書位、両如来本性容義、釈迦如来両画線、一種五行難天軸、90大自主と性、式の大派無限、先生大乗無情報、召喚議事小安楽、賢治難病六六、診療医療指導楽、億年リーダー本願、自然即時入立論、唯道上昇如来法、大理不正論、天神菩薩造論世、非常無下公如来、永州なら謙信寺、法然王朝大聖願、こういう本願力霊法、医療群上昇一心、非入独大法会、一逆入大へ収集、特使連携同世界、即昇進の保証心、有言の人間人数、入賞事四事要件、本事論難両天使、情報難消防さらい、三蔵苦し十条教、本性宣教気楽法、天神菩薩論中下、行動因果現世願、方言平行有大、少女死因類新人、漠然文部新人法、承知承知即礼判、一心無量公平等、小無修上回復系、老者結晶道難症、唯明浄の活入、安全自力変更集、 円満と不動感染症、三流三神経音語、相馬法明道義、一生増悪地部税、一安了解消の天道の奇妙でしょい。大愛情三病逆悪、法病病法権因縁、海流門願大地界、行者小樹本合子、狂気一元相互、領位大道逆三人、即小小市上楽、原神公開一大教、延期安療官一切、戦闘終身反戦人、合計二道正面流、60悪人唯勝部、が薬剤費摂取中、煩悩証言水風剣、大費有権上昇が、本次元風量仏教、蓮人全幕本部人、新宗教書公編集、戦略門願無学生、現代正直因天芸、歴史以上以昇し、即入着上無意悪、一致真剣に納入。仏教大事修行法、上際不変極欲悪、同族自修愚道心、唯他心死。阿弥陀
Thank you. So now we have we can recite 3 liturgies together. So please rise if you're able. So you can find 3 liturgies on page 17 and 18.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Buddhaṃ saranam gacchami Dhammaṃ saranam gacchami Sanghaṃ saranam gacchami. Difficult is it to receive life in human form. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma. Now we hear it. If we do not receive awakening in the present life, then in what life can we hope to receive it? Let us reverently take refuge in the 3 treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together as one, begin the great path of enlightenment, holding in our hearts the supreme aspiration. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together as one, enter the storehouse of the Dharma and attain true wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we, together as one, uniting harmony, strive to live for the enlightenment of all beings. The incomparable, deep, and profound Dharma is difficult to encounter, even through countless ages of karmas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us endeavor to thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Buddha Dharma. Namaste.
Thank you. You may be seated. And next, we'll have a Dharma talk from myself, from Reverend Okada. Okay, good morning, everyone, again. Thank you for coming to this Sunday service. Today is a rather unusual Sunday, as only Reverend Okumura here and I myself are here conducting the service at the Betsuin. The Reverend Toyoshima is on vacation, and our bishop is in Kaneohe leading an Ohigan service. It's been quite some time since I last had the opportunity to give a talk at the Betsuin. So to be honest, I can't even remember when my previous talk was. But still, I hope that hearing from someone different once in a while offers a refreshing change for all of you. I hope so. So let me begin with a simple question. Very simple, but deep. Are you enjoying your own daily life? Like, enjoyment may sound a bit vague, but are you living each day with a sense of fulfillment, truly appreciating your life as it unfolds? All of you gathered here today, as well as those who may be watching later on YouTube, are living in different circumstances. So naturally, each person has their own standard of happiness. I personally believe that one's happiness is not something that should be measured relative to others. Thoughts such as, I am suffering more than that person, or compared to them, my life is still better, are not particularly helpful. And yet, because we are human, there are moments when we inevitably compare ourselves to others. So what happens when we do so? And why do we compare ourselves in the first place? I believe one reason is that we are constantly living in a kind of back and forth between our emotions and our thoughts. At times, our emotions take over and dominate us. At other times, we rely only on our thinking and become overly cold or detached. This brings us to a deeper question. Why did Buddhism arise in the first place? Is it simply a tool for becoming happy, or is it merely an academic discipline in which we accumulate knowledge of difficult terminology? I believe both perspectives are valid. So religion, after all, existed long before organized entities such as nations or political institutions came into being. Because of this, religious teachings often served as the foundation for social rules. In Buddhism, for example, this is reflected in the precepts, strict guidelines for living, maybe especially in the Southeast Asia or some Asian country. So today, the three major world religions are often said to be Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam, each with its own founder. However, none of those traditions emerged completely from nothing. Shakyamuni Buddha himself questioned the life he was born into and sought teachings from spiritual practitioners of his time. So that means they're already there, like it's called Buddhism. So there is also Zoroastrianism, which is said to have influenced both Christianity and Islam. Although much of history remains difficult to verify in nowadays, so these religions have accompanied humanity for over 2,000 years. Even in the past 200 years, the era of so-called modern nation states, many countries have established their laws and systems based on religious values. When we reflect on this, we begin to see just how deeply religion has permeated our daily lives, even at an unconscious level. I was reminded of this through a very common expression, English terms. Oh my God. Even in Japan, I would say that about 90% of people recognize this phrase, and many young people use it casually. This led to me wonder, why is there no equivalent expression in Japanese, such as "Oh my Buddha" or "Oh my Kami-sama"? And yet, the Japanese language is filled with words rooted in Buddhism and ancient spiritual thought. One example is the word, everyone must know this one, arigato. It is said to originate from the idea of something being rare or difficult to encounter, much like the line we just chanted earlier in the three treasures. Difficult is it to receive life in human form, difficult is to hear the Buddha Dharma. In this sense, expressing gratitude reflects appreciation for encountering something precious and rare. However, when we speak Japanese, we do not consciously think about such origins. In the same way, I imagine that English-speaking speakers do not necessarily perceive "oh my God" as a religious terms, religious expressions. To me, having not grown up in the Christian culture context, it once seemed remarkable that a word like God appears in such a commonly used phrase. I thought, oh, Christianity teachings must be deeply rooted in English-speaking cultures. But in reality, it is probably not different from how I use the word arigato. Simply one word among many in daily life. So, to native English speakers here, I would be very interested here to hear your thought on this. So now returning to our earlier question, why has Buddhism continued to exist up to the present day in 2026? Recently, we often hear concerns within temples. Membership is declining, or it is becoming difficult to sustain temple organizations, or people are no longer coming to the temples. These are certainly serious issues that must be addressed. However, if we look at writings from about 70 years ago, we find the exact same concerns. Young people are not interested in religion, or religious organizations are struggling. In other words, these challenges may have existed ever since religion itself began. Of course, there were times in history when populations grew rapidly, economics flourished, and people had greater stability in their lives. During such periods, religious activities likely thrived as well. But one could also say that religion was benefiting from the conditions of that time. When discussing these issues, we tend to approach them from a negative perspective. We search for causes of decline, then search for the causes behind those causes, and eventually lose sight of any conclusion, leaving us feeling discouraged. If we continue in this way, I feel that even after hundreds of years, nothing will improve. In fact, teachings may only worsen. Things may only worsen. As human beings, we are equipped with a kind of homeostasis that makes us resistant to change. Even when we intellectually understand that change is necessary, the moment a new idea arises, we may unconsciously be afraid and being searching for reasons not to change. Fortunately, we have encountered Buddhism. So Buddhism is often described as a teaching that encourages deep self-reflection, which can sometimes seem strict or even difficult. But let us remember what Shakyamuni Buddha was truly seeking: a path through which both himself and all living beings could be liberated. In modern terms, we might say a path to happiness. So I was born in 1989, and even most people of my generation do not choose a difficult and painful path if they can avoid it. Everyone seeks a bright and fulfilling life. It's okay, I think. Therefore, I believe that Buddhism, too, must continue to adopt its way of communicating so that it resonates with each generation. My ideas and perspectives may seem inexperienced to those with more life experience. I deeply value the wisdom of those who walked longer paths, and I sincerely hope to continue learning from you. From adolescence through our 50s, people are often striving towards personal goals and building the foundations of their lives. In today's world, filled with endless information and entertainment, and even more so in the future, it is likely that more people will drift away from religious activities. So this part of the natural flow of the times, if we try to resist it forcefully, it may only exacerbate the problem. So the question becomes, how can I contribute? I believe my role is to learn how to share these teachings that have been passed down for over 2,000 years, and in the case of Jodo Shinshu, for over 800 years, in ways that resonate with people of all ages. This is not only important for religious activities, but also something that can be applied to our everyday human relationships. But it's difficult, I know. Anyway, so I look forward to continue to learn from all of you, to share in your wisdom, and to work together towards more meaningful and effective activities. Thank you for listening. では、日本語でも少しだけお話しさせていただきます。そうですね。一応このサンデーサービスは日本で発行されている新種っていう機関誌に予定として載っておりまして、日本語と英語のサービスがありますというふうに書かれていますので、少しだけ日本語でも、ちょっとまとめてね、お話しさせていただきたいと思います。本日はお越しいただきありがとうございます。そして後で YouTube で、ご参加いただいている皆様ありがとうございます。今日は別院のリンバも開教師もちょっと不在で、ちょっと珍しい日曜日なんですけれども、それで、我々、オフィススタッフといいますか、監督部職員の僧侶だけでお勤めをしているという珍しい日曜日になっております。本日、先ほどちょっと英語でお話しさせていただいた内容はですね、仏教、そもそも仏教って何で起こってきたのかっていうことなんですね。これに答えはないと思います。誰もタイムマシンに乗ってね、お釈迦さんが生まれた時に行くことはできませんので、皆さんそれぞれの答えをお持ちいただいて、それぞれにご納得いただいて、皆さんなりの仏教であったり、そこから分かれていったいろんな宗派の教えであったりを受け止めていただければいいかなと思うんですけれども、なかなか仏教のお話で皆さん幸せになりましょうみたいなことって聞かないと思うんですね。愛とか幸せとかそういったものはおそらく日本人的価値観でいくと安っぽいというか、 ちょっと違うんじゃないかっていうことがおそらく語られてきたかなと思います。少なくとも私が育った中では幸せになるよみたいなことは一度も聞いたことがありません。で、幸せを追い求めるなんてちょっと浅いことだみたいなこともよく聞いたんですけれども、そもそも僧侶って難しい教えだけを教える人なのか、それか日々の生活をどうやったらよりよく生きられるかっていうことを伝える人なのか、どっちなんでしょうねと考えることがあります。どちらもあっていいというか、どちらもいい悪いはないと思います。それぞれ皆さん僧侶も人間ですから、個人個人の得意な分野で社会に貢献させていただいたらいいと思うんですけれども、その僧侶自身がもし不幸せやなと思いながらお話ししてたらどうでしょうね。多分そのエネルギーが伝わって、なんかこのお坊さんの話聞いてたらしんどくなるな、なんか眠たくなるなとかあると思うんです。なんかそれはできるだけ私はそうでないようになりたいと思いますけれども、いい意味で心地よくて眠たくなるならそれはそれできっと日々お疲れの方に何か貢献ができているということなのでいいんですけれども、やっぱ話し手の気持ちって絶対人間同士の何か伝わることはあると思うんですね。だから、声を大きく仏教を聞いて幸せになりましょうとはなかなか言いにくいんですけれども、幸せっていう概念も本当にたくさんありますから定義は難しいですけど、それぞれ人それぞれの定義があって、どうやって毎日をちょっとでも心豊かに生きれるかっていうお手伝いができる存在が僧侶であったり、何かちょっとだけ人様のお手伝いをお話とか関わりという中でできる存在であればいいのかなと思います。世の中に生きている方々で誰の役にも立ってないっていう人はおそらく一人もいません。こんな人とか、この人はああでこうでとかあります。一日中寝てる人もいるかもしれない。一日中大きな音楽を鳴らして隣近所の人にうるさいなと思われてる人もいるかもしれない。でもその音楽を聴いてる人と喋ってる人はきっとそれで楽しい。そういう受け止め方をしたら多分全員が誰かの役には立っているはずなんですけど、それをどう社会的に組織集合体をどう有機的に回していくかっていう教えとして宗教が生まれてきたんじゃないかなと私は思います。もちろんね、お釈迦さんはその自分の生まれた境遇にちょっと疑問を持って出家してなんで生きてるんやろうっていうことを探し求めはったんですけど、そこからどうやったら全ての人が救われるって言うとやっぱり気分が軽くなるっていうことだと思うんですね。こうやって救われていってで救われてそれで終了で、救われるってどういうことってなったらやっぱりちょっとでも生きやすくなった、命があるうちはちょっとでも生きやすくなったっていうことだと思うので、そういう生きやすくする方法っていうのは本当にもう無限にあります。それを国家とかそういう集合体、団体組織を作るときに世界三大宗教、仏教、キリスト教、イスラム教の教えを元に作っている国家というものはすごい多いと思います。日本も古すぎて分かりませんけど、おそらく仏教と昔の古神道とかの教えが元になっていろんな価値観とか、ルールとかができていると思います。その中でですね、最近やっぱり宗教離れというのが聞かれて久しいですけれども、最近起きてきた問題かというと、もうそうですね、英語では70年前って言いましたけど、1940年ぐらいの書物ですでに若者の宗教離れだとかどうかっていう言葉は載ってますので、今に始まったことではなく、常に解決策がないまんま続いている問題やということも言えると思います。 これをやっぱ解決しようと人間は思ってしまうから、どうしてもこうネガティブな、ね、暗い悲観的な面から問題やって捉えがちですけれども、そうではなく、その問題を解決してしまわないと思うか、してしまわんとあかんと思うからこうプレッシャーがかかるわけで、これは多分解決しないであろう問題だということを受け止めて、どう改善して今の時代に一番いいものは何かなって言って探していったら、怒ることもなく、悲観的になりすぎることもなくいくんじゃないかなと最近感じます。かといってね、そういうもんやからつって努力を怠ったらもう消えていくしかないんですけれども、ここは本当に仏教だけに限らず日々の生活でもどうやってちょっとでも生きやすくする、関係性を良くする、で、組織の循環を良くするといいますかね、そういうものをどうやっていけたらいいかなって考える、もうその一歩がすでに社会貢献、誰かのお役に立っているんじゃないかなと思います。ちょっと英語の要約にはなっておりませんけれども、そういった点が本日のお話の内容でした。来週は、花祭りやな。So, we don't have service at the Betsuin next week. We will have Hawaii Buddhist Council Hanamatsuri service at Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii at 9:30. So we don't have a service here, so please do not come to the temple. And the next following weeks, we will have Betsuin. We will have the service at Betsuin on April 12th. Okay, so ということで、来週はこの配信はございませんのでご了承ください。はい。では、do you have any announcement? Maybe not. So sorry, I don't have any a script today, so I'm not sure what schedule is coming, but I'm pretty sure the first Wednesday we will have karaoke night here at the Betsuin and Zoom, and next Sunday will be Hanamatsuri, HBC Hanamatsuri service at Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii, and following weeks we have a service here at the Betsuin. Okay, so please rise for Gata, singing Gata Ondokusan. So thank you for attending today's service and thank you for watching service. So this concludes today's Sunday service. Thank you.